Hey guys, it's me, Hakeem Isler, aka the Black MacGyver, your trusted source for all things survival. In this Ninjanuity moment, I'm going to show you one of my very cool inventions where I make electricity out of using two opposing elements, fire and ice. This is going to be cool. Stay tuned. All right, YouTube, so here I am, Black MacGyver. I am out in my garage. I am working on a thermoelectric generator. I am trying to use some loaf of bread pans, all right, some loaf pans. And I'm going to use some Sterno canned heat. I'm going to use these thermoelectric generating little tabs here, all right, or ceramic tiles they call them, all right. And I'm going to be using some thermal glue. So I have several things out here that I need to do. So I just cut a heat sink. So I'm going to take the heat sink, I'm going to put the heat sink inside the pan, and just like so, and I'm going to glue it at the bottom. And then that will be able to help dispense some of the heat from the cans as they're coming up. And so you'll see how this build goes. I'll give like several video shots every time I get a certain distance into the build so that you guys can see what I'm working on. All right, thanks. So I took these thermoelectric tiles and then I basically glued them with thermally conductive glue right onto this loaf pan right here. Now I drilled these holes in the side of the loaf pan so that I could have some of the heat escape and some of the gases that might be created in there, so it's not all just in there and contained in there. It has some room to escape. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another loaf pan and then I'm going to glue that loaf pan right onto the top here. And this loaf pan is basically going to be where we sit our cooled or ice water. I'm gonna put this pan here with the heat sink that I glued, thermally electrically glued to the bottom, will sit right in here. And so the way I prepare that is I'm gonna put water in it and then put it inside the freezer and let it freeze. And then this way I can remove that and put it back whenever I need to before I use my generator. So I went ahead and I soldered the wires together. Not the best soldering job, but I tried. So we'll see how it plays out. Then I'm gonna put some heat shrink tubing over it and I'm gonna shrink that to finish it off. But first I'm gonna glue the pan to the top of the thermoelectric tiles. So what I've done now is I've taken the loaf pan, one of the other loaf pans, and I punched a bunch of holes in it, drilled a bunch of holes so that my candles can get oxygen. I also drilled holes on the ends so that these nuts here on the side of, well, this one down here, can sit easily inside the hole. Just like that. Then I can find this hole down here and I can, let's see if I can do this with one hand. Let's try this. I can snap that in place. So now it's one unit. So I'm able to burn the candles on the bottom, put the ice water on the top, and I should be able to get a charge out of this. So now I just got to test to make sure that the candles burn properly while they're inside of there so that they don't go out. And then once I can determine that, then I can start the process of actually seeing if I can get 5 volts out of this thing. So I got 6 candles burning in the bottom down there out of the 10 that are in there. And I have I put ice water in the top here of the thermoelectric generator, and I am producing almost 8 volts of power, and that is enough. That's more than enough to power or charge a cell phone. So as this continues to go, I mean, this is still going up. So as that ice water kind of settles in there, then it'll start to really create a strong temperature differential that'll give us more power. And this is really cool. So the cool part about even the candles going out in there is that even though they're going, some have gone out, having the heat sink on the bottom on this loaf pan, on the bottom of that, like I have a heat sink in here at the bottom of this, helps disperse that heat energy along the bottom so that it's not all in one spot. So that's really cool for us. So we see that we made it all the way up to 8, and then it dropped back down to okay, now it's going back up. So there we go. We're at 8. We are going to light these candles. I hooked up my voltage regulator here. All right, it's going to this thermoelectric generator that I built, and I have an old cell phone here that still works. It was my last cell phone before I got replaced. That's how old school I am. This is an iPhone like 5. And I'm going to plug this into the voltage regulator, and if everything works well, it should start to charge up. So let's see how it goes. Moment of truth. So listen up, guys, I did it. I got my candles down here. I got my thermoelectric generator here. I got my water and my ice up here, presenting a nice little temperature differential. I have it hooked up to my regulator. As you can see, I am regulating, I'm pulling in about 5 amps worth of power. I've plugged in my cell phone, and let's see what's going on. Is my cell phone charging? Oh, I don't see anything right now. Oh, there it is. It's charging, ladies and gentlemen. I am using my heat. I'm using my cold. I'm changing my voltage, and I have a charge. All right, friends, so let's see how this thing works. We talked about how putting or lighting these candles here is gonna create heat on the bottom. If we put ice water here at the top, that's gonna create, cold at the top. That temperature differential is going to flow through the thermoelectric coolers that are between these 2 loaf pans, and that's going to create a voltage. That voltage is going to start to read in this regulator. We'll be able to plug in our phone, and we'll be able to get power. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's get this thing started. Now we're going to take this top half and put it on there. Going to lock it in place. Then we're going to put cold water on the top. And as you can see, the power light has come on the regulator, so that means that it's getting power. And as we press the button, I can do that without. Here shortly we'll start seeing the regulator come on, and you'll start seeing power flow through the regulator. So as we see, we got power flowing through the regulator. We have 4.9 volts right now, and we want to get above 5 because we need that much to charge our cell phone.